Today we're going to talk about how to restore vision or restore eyesight. And we've got 5 steps. And the first step is restructuring the eye. The reason why vision is blurry, or you have astigmatism or nearsightedness, is because the shape of the eye itself is too elongated. It's been deformed. And this means that when light rays are entering your lens and the lens is focusing them, the point of convergence is supposed to hit the back of the retina. But because the eye is out of shape, this convergent point goes past that point of convergence. So all the rays are hitting off center, out of alignment. And so vision becomes blurry. Light, especially when you see light that has that like big scattering effect, where things are just blurry and you can't read from a distance because all the light rays are not matching back in the retina. In a previous video on this subject, I talked about how it's the extraocular muscles which is ultimately causing that misshapedness because they're too engorged. There's too much pressure on the eye, and so it's squeezing the eye out of shape. And I talked about different exercises. What I didn't know then, and which I know now, is it is the muscles, but more importantly, it's the way that the muscles are connected to the fascia. So just doing different kinds of eye exercises won't get you very far. What you actually need to do is allow the fascia to breathe again. It's basically stuck to the muscle and to the organ of the eye in a way that makes it really rigid, and it starts to cause it to swell up. For context, the fascia is kind of the body inside of your body. It's this interconnected fibrous matrix which basically allows your body to be a body. It connects and communicates with everything, and it also houses the lymphatic system, which is how you're removing waste, cellular waste, the waste of metabolic processes, infections, just any kind of waste goes through the lymphatic system, which is in that fascia. And that fascia surrounds and supports everything. So in order to fix the shape of the eye, to restructure it, you have to work on the fascia. What this looks like is you're going to stretch and massage different areas of your face while you're doing different eye movements, blinking. So you might press your eyebrows up, look down, look around, blink, and you might do that for the side of your eyes, your cheeks. Just you're stretching the muscle so that when you move it, there's a separation, there's a release of the fascia in the muscle. And you'll hear popping, you'll feel like sticky sensation kind of like popping out, and that's the fascia being released from the muscle, which allows it to filter the lymphatic system, allows it to be hydrated, and most importantly, it allows it to relax so that it's not putting so much pressure. That buildup is finally able to deflate, and then that's going to allow your eye to start to reform itself properly, start to get the right kind of orb shape that allows light to hit at the right spot. Now, if you're doing this, be gentle and start off slowly. Don't overstrain your eyes. Just try a little bit, see how you feel for a while, and then you can try again another day or later in the day. You could have areas of tension anywhere in your head, and that this could be ultimately causing this eye problem. So understanding you can move the ears around, massage the scalp, the back of the head, the jaw, chin, the face, the nose, anywhere and everywhere, and moving your eyes at the same time you'll help feel that fascia. You should do those kinds of massages anyways, but when you are trying to work on the eyes, when you have this stretching and then you're also moving the eye, there's more that it can stretch, and so you can actually feel it being released from the fascia, feeling the muscle and the skin and the eye itself, allowing for the fascia to breathe and allowing for that lymphatic drainage to happen, which is basically just a buildup, a swelling. That is the main process for restructuring your eye. All these other reasons are basically going to contribute to why reason number 1 happens. And so even though you may have progress with fixing your eye, you need to actually also work on why that happened in the first place. Work on fixing the reasons that caused the eye problems. So the second reason is the blue light demon. So TVs, computer screens, phones, All of these sources of LED blue light, even with fluorescent lighting, we're exposing our eyes to this wavelength that causes an increased amount of apoptosis, and it causes your mitochondria to burn out. So it's killing your cells. It's aging them because they're going through the full cell cycle twice or 3 times as fast as they normally would when you're not exposed to that blue light. And when your body's producing all this extra waste because it's going through this cellular process, breaking down these cells, you're going to have that build up, and this is causing that swelling to happen around your eyes, which is causing your vision to be blurry. Your phone, your computer, your TV, anything with a screen that you interact with should be completely redshifted. This is what it should look like all day. And even though it's still LED light, the actual wavelength itself is less destructive. So it's not perfectly ideal, but it goes a long way in helping reducing the effects of the actual blue wavelength of light. The red wavelength of light is much easier to process. It's much easier to see, and it's less taxing on your eyes. And it doesn't trigger that apoptosis, that day cycle, that aging that's going to happen, that you're just burning through your cells. Back in the retina, you have rods and cones, which I'm sure most people have heard about. Your rods are detecting light. That's what's being used during the day. When you're seeing all kinds of light, you're using mainly your rods to do this. And it requires mitochondria to convert those light signals into electrical signals, which then get processed in your visual cortex. If you're always using your rods here at night, when you're exposed to all this light, they never get a chance to rest and repair. Your night vision is supposed to be used by your cones because it's detecting different wavelengths of light. The quality of the mitochondria is what allows you to see in HD or 4K. When you're always exposed to blue light, especially at night, you're reducing your quality to like 244p in the long run because you're just damaging the ability to convert high quality images. Now, when you add this on top of not having the shape of the eye properly, you have really bad vision that you can only see up close. Now, with number 3, the microbiome, all you really need to understand with this is to stop touching your eye. Stop bringing debris and bacteria into your eye because you have somewhat of a delicate microbiome in your eye. The kinds of bacteria that's on your fingers and your skin is not really the kind that's supposed to be in your eye. And this goes for your nose, your mouth, your ears. You kind of just want to stop touching stuff so that you're not disrupting the microbiome there. Because if you're bringing in all kinds of junk into your eyes, that's causing the inflammation again, which if the fascia is not healthy, is dried out and sticky, it can't drain that lymph, and so you build up that pressure again. And then with the blue light, you're again drying out your eye, and you're burning through your retina and your cornea, and then that's going to cause you to want to itch your eye, which is then going to just perpetuate this cycle. For posture, you have to understand that when we're hunched over and our neck's forward and everything's kind of resting on the front of our face, that being our eyes, all that pressure is there again, and you're going to de-shape your eye. So if you spend 8 hours in front of TV rubbing your eyes because they're dried out, you're just contributing to the degeneration of your eye and your visual acuity. I was originally going to talk about posture in a separate video, but I think it makes sense here. And that's the how-to. How do you actually fix posture? You'll see all kinds of videos, do this, do that, and you might try it out and it doesn't work, or it just doesn't seem like there's any progress. The best way to fix your posture is to do it when you're sleeping. So if you have rounded shoulders, a hunched neck, pelvic tilt, you need to look up how to sleep in a position that addresses those issues. The point of sleep is to relax and repair. And if you're sleeping like Sid the Sloth every night, and your body's in all these contorted positions, and then you wake up and you feel bad, and so then you look up how do you stretch to fix all these problems, you're working against 8 hours of stiffness and rigidity. If you start to sleep in a way that resolves those issues, that begins to realign yourself naturally without having to spend all day stretching, if you could spend 4 to 8 hours sleeping in a proper position to address the issues you might have, that's way more work and progress you can do on your body than if you were to try to stretch all day. Nobody has 8 hours to spend stretching. You're going to wear yourself out. You're going to probably hurt your muscles. You can dislocate something. But if you can work on that while you're sleeping, and when you wake up, you're not fighting against your body and that stiffness, you can start to really make progress in realigning yourself and building the muscle so that it stays in the proper position. And it's not about being super stiff, but it's about mobility and flexibility and having that good alignment, because that allows all the blood flow in the lymphatic system to move properly. If you're forward facing like this, your body has to work extra hard to circulate all the things that it needs to. This causes all these traffic jams, which causes these buildups. And so working on the posture goes a long way in helping the eyes, especially when we're talking about how you need to work on relaxing and stretching the areas of the scalp, face, ears, and neck in order to help move the fascia and to help rebalance and restructure the eye. The reason why kids who are growing up with TV and iPads have these really swollen bug-like eyes is because they're doing all of these wrong. They are in front of the blue light screen, their posture's hunched over, and they're drying out their eye, which means they're going to touch their eye. And phone screens and iPod screens are extremely dirty. They're breeding grounds for all kinds of bacteria and fungus, and then they're going to rub their eyes. And so from a very young age, they're already damaging so much of their eye health, and then their vision's really bad. And that's why more and more people are starting to need glasses at younger and younger ages. Step number 5, go see the world. If all you use your vision for is the thing right 1 foot in front of you, why do you expect your eyes to ever need to see anything further than that? Your eyes are going to be good at doing what you use them for. And we're always in these liminal spaces. We're always in these narrow tunnel vision spaces. Things are right up in our face. We're just simply going on a walk and seeing all these different colors, seeing all the different sights is going to stimulate your peripheral vision, which is atrophied, which is unused, and so the body has less of that rods and cones that it's taking advantage of. You have chemical and metabolic processes that are stimulated and activated when you're using your peripheral vision more often, and just simply going on a walk and not looking down but looking into open spaces. This is how you activate your eyes in the full way, which allows for high quality vision. And then on top of that, when you do start working on your posture and you do get more of the lymph and the fascia released, just going on a walk helps to move all that, helps to circulate it. When your posture is good and you're not constantly damaging yourself, you're not constantly causing inflammation and swelling. The reason why people have eye vision problems with hyperthyroidism is this gland in your neck that stimulates your sympathetic nervous system. So if you're always in like fight or flight states, if you're always in these high energy, stressful states, and especially because we're using our eyes in those states, whatever kind of job or work life you have, it's going to send all that energy, which is stimulating the muscles, which again is leading to that original problem of the eyes are swelling up because they're being squeezed by all these muscles and fascia, which are just building up and being gorged in size from accumulating all of this tension and energy and waste material. And so they're just getting really gunky. So that's why you might wake up and you have eye crust and all kinds of stuff. It's just like overflowing. Blinking, breathing, that goes into posture and microbiome. With blinking, you have this antibacterial lubricant that helps to keep the eye clean and to keep it hydrated. So if you're staring at something for 5 hours without blinking, you're going to be introducing all kinds of stuff to your eye, which is going to cause eye problems. And then posture, when you do start to fix your posture, hopefully you have better airways from your nose, because you need to be able to breathe properly through your nose. Because if you're sleeping like Sid the Sloth and your mouth's open, this is causing like sort of your face to kind of collapse on itself, because everything's being pressed and moved around improperly over the course of 8 hours of sleeping, and it's drying you out. So when you start to correct these issues, you'll also be very aware of when you're doing something wrong. If you go to the movies and watch TV all night and the next morning your vision's blurry again, you're going to realize you've burned through your mitochondria, your posture was bad, you were rubbing your eyes, you were in this narrow tunnel vision, and you were overworking the muscles, and the fascia is getting built up with gunk, and it's all getting sticky, and it's causing your eye to lose its shape. So you might notice progress immediately the first day of just working the fascia of your eye. Like I said, start gently, start slow, see how you feel, don't strain yourself. The key word here is relax, since the problem of the eye is that it's overworked in all the wrong ways. Spend more time outside, work on your posture during sleep is the easiest time to do that. Stop touching stuff, deactivate all the blue light, and redshift every device you have. Work on exercising the fascia of the eye, which is stretching and moving and blinking the eye in different ways. And you'll experiment and see where you have really tough areas, and just working through the tension of your whole face and body. And your vision will start to restore dramatically. And then you'll know when you're doing something wrong and how to address it. You know the cause and effect of things. There are consequences to the way we live in our society. These are steps to helping mitigate those and to heal from the damage that those have done, that you've accumulated for years and years, decades of your life. But I hope this helps. I'll provide another summary in the description and just kind of try to make it as digestible as possible. In my opinion, if the solution isn't free, easy to understand, if it's not something that anyone can do at any point, if it's not something that's just widely available, then I don't care for it. Any solution shouldn't be behind a paywall or a high priest who guards the information. It should be widely available, and it should be safe and effective. And if it's not, then it doesn't interest me. But I hope this helps. I hope you're able to work on your vision and restore your eyesight. Thanks for watching.